I'm Jimi Hendrick, and this episode is called Loyalty, EA48. Define loyalty, really, on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. Hi, I'm Jimi Hendrick, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Success, Confidence, and Thrive Coach. I wish to let you know that there are patterns to help you receive more, help you live a better and extraordinary life right now. I also believe that there are spiritual and temporal tips to help you overcome the adversities in everyday life. So if you come with me, I will show you these patterns. Get ready. Let's go. We'll be back to talk about loyalty, but first, a word from our sponsors. Hello everybody, Jimi Hendrick here. I want to talk to you about a service that if you like to travel, have discounts, well, you're in luck. Sign up for what's known as Truly Travel. You're going to get lots of wonderful discounts. Airline, hotel, rent-a-car. And I'll probably be using rent-a-car unless I'm going with somebody. It's a wonderful service where you can go to the different vistas and enjoy some wonderful vacations. But to access it, you must connect with an ACN distributor near you. And God bless you. Okay, loyalty. What can I say? I was asked by my friend Rob to talk about this, and I don't see why not. I don't see. We need to know this, okay? We need to know this. I think one of the things I love about ACN, and last night was one of those moments. We had a little business pizza dinner party last night. Watching a couple of presentations through Zoom call, and it was just totally mesmerizing, and I loved it. I totally loved it. And loyalty to a team is a wonderful thing. But if you define loyalty, say you ask Google, which I'm doing now. One thing it says is characteristics of being loyal. So what that means is, I think it's being faithful. Remaining loyal and steadfast, firm and determined, And some entrepreneur gurus say you shouldn't have a business partner. Now, that might be the case like in a cutthroat business world. But if you got people that are willing to do it legally and ethically, and they know your boundaries, and they know your principles, I'm loyal to teams. And I believe in being loyal. But anymore, because of so much has happened to me, I lose loyalty for those who knowingly and willfully stab me in the back and don't even dare to apologize and make serious and purposeful amendment. I had one of those friends, Brad, and for years and years and years, I knew him for 19 years. For years and years and years and years, I forgave him. So finally I was like, hey, back's been cut up enough. There's only so much back you can give somebody. So I'm saying, this is my saying is this. You keep being loyal to me, I'll keep being loyal to you. But don't step out of line. Don't step out of line. Don't stab me in the back. If you got a problem with something I'm doing, then you need to talk to me. Face to face, in person. And that's what I'm grateful for that my upline in my business did for me yesterday. Connie's a sweetheart, but she was firm. She's like, hey, when are you going to crush it in this thing? It's time for you to seriously launch. And when I went to the dinner party, something during the first business presentation, we had to. Something's like, okay, Jimmy, come on. Launch tomorrow. Tomorrow, not now next week. Not now next week, tomorrow. And then something deep down in me said, from tomorrow to March 9th, you got 9 days. Now, didn't I give you a sense of urgency? But I digress, okay? Back to loyalty. Back to loyalty. And why not? We need to talk about loyalty. And why not? Because, well, we need to. It's a no-brainer. And part of that is it. Well, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Had to cut that off the chase. But if someone is willing to stab you on the back and not aid you in your growth, but they sit there and point fingers, you need to grow more. You ain't mature. My friend Brad. Just like that. And I had another friend that was kind of like that. Jim Bob. These people, I have a nickname for them because they're reactive. They don't really want to develop themselves the way that, perhaps that you should. I call them crinkle nose. Here's how Jim Bob. Oh, you need growth more. You finna go for more, right? I can't help you. You get my drift? If people aren't willing to be loyal enough to help you grow to what is the greatest in you, what need do you have of them? If they're not there for you, when you're strapped into the good ship called success and the door is shut for the launch pad, that's right, it's slammed shut. If they're not there watching you and cheering you on, or in the ship cheering you on, then, and I was recording this yesterday and I said something kind of off-colored. I stopped. I gotta say this, if you're not going to be there with me, then your absence is requested. In fact, your absence is required. Come on, who needs you? I mean, I don't want to be known as heartless, but I'm just saying, this world, loves to mess with you. And you've got to be able to say, hey, See? There we go. The fact of the matter is, you can't fart around with loyalty. So, I'm going to define it into two things. Faithfulness. For the next about 7.5 minutes, we're going to talk about faithfulness. What does it mean to be faithful? Remaining loyal and steadfast. Reliable. Dependent. To be true. To be original. Okay? That's one thing that my faith talks a lot about, is to be faithful to your covenants. And you need to have that faithfulness. If I may, I want to look over some conference talks in my faith, if you will. So be patient with me, because it's important for us to know that you can be faithful. Are you faithful to the person that you believe? In my instance, it's Christ. Are you willing to do that? And yes, in some ways it's involving people, forgiveness of people that have wronged you. But I think it only gets so part. And to be faithful, the theologian Michelle Craig, she said this: we should be followers of Jesus who are joyful and wholehearted in our own personal journey of discipleship. And we dovetail that into personal development and entrepreneurship. You need to have some wholehearted loyalty to people. There's people who, at the beginning, I had one such a friend. Now, I've told you about Brad. I met him in 1991. My second high school sweetheart, we'll call her Tracy. Tracy dumped me. And Brad was there, praying for me and with me. Because I was just a 21-year-old kid. I was just starting college. Graduated from high school a few months before. And he prayed for and with me, and I thought, well, there's a friend for life. And I really thought so. I really believe so. And we did good for a while. But then, little by little, I saw cracks in his loyalty. And that should be a warning sign. I'm going to say this. If you say that you're going to be faithful and being wholehearted in being loyal to me, I've got to be able to hold you accountable. I got to be able to see that you're dependable and that you genuinely care about my growth and development. Otherwise, I'm sorry, hit the door. Now, I'm a compassionate person, okay? mystically, mentally, and spiritually, I'm an empath. I'm a mystic empath. It's hard for me to describe. And a mystic empath requires loyalty. Now, there's others that are other type of empaths. They're like, hey, I'm loyal to you as long as I can be. This stage, I'm ready to have some potential lifelong partners. That's just who I am. I believe in helping people. But at the same time, if someone's going to hold me back, try to hold me back, I cannot help you. I cannot be with you. And some of those people, maybe the well-being, I don't know. So like I said, I'm a very compassionate person. I'm faithful. But the thing is this. If you're on this journey with me, are you willing to demonstrate some faithfulness? Now, I agree with John C. Maxwell. He says you can't demand loyalty. But I say you mustn't demand loyalty. It's the difference between can't and mustn't. Mustn't means it's an absolute, because loyalty is earned. Because you don't say, well, I'm loyal and I'm there for you to decide to the very end, and I care about you, and then you turn around and stab somebody in the back. I've had that done I don't know how many times, and I have to say it hurts. But that's why I love ACN, the team. What I saw last night was people being faithful to each other in a cause of helping people save money. Okay? Save money. Now, I know you guys like to save money, don't you? You do. That's why I love ACN. But now, I didn't come here to just talk about ACN. Although that's a big part of what I do right now. But I also have my empowerment hustle that I'm going to be working on to some ways. It's a little bit less intense, which is good. But being faithful, you need that. You need that, okay? Because faithfulness, let me tell you something, that's what it really is. That's where it really is at. Being able to say, hey, I will. And if for some reason you can't, there is a darn good reason. My BFA, Keith Cotton, who this April will be dead for 20 years, he told me, he said, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm dang sure going to try. And if not, it's going to be for a very damn good reason. And so, I mean, I don't demand faithfulness. I don't do that. In fact, I expect myself and others to earn faithfulness. All right, we need to get off the subject of faithfulness and have Google help us define steadfast. Now that's another one. Because the scriptures are full of the Lord's people telling people to be steadfast. Resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering. That's a good one there. You're not willing to waver and watch and just waft around. You know, in the early to mid-90s, I would have to call my uncle, who was the same age as I am, to give me and my brother Keith rides. And, for us to hang out at his house or mine. Because friends like Jim Bob would say, oh, let's go do this, and let's go do that, and blah, 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 blah. No, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. It's too wet. No, I can't do it. It's too wet. No, I can't do it. I got a friend, so the pig's too pussy to pee. If you're gonna do like that, stay away from me. Stay away from me. Now, at the same time, though, I still love people. And maybe I don't have people that have that. But I think it's important to have that ability to be resolute, to be together. That's like ACN, and I keep going back to it. I know it, but it's kind of like with ACN, there is a common purpose. Can you guys understand that for me, please? Or at least try to. When I think of steadfast, you're not moving or deviating away from what you strongly believe with, and the people that you hang with that are mindful and thoughtful and that help you. You don't turn away. You don't stab them in the back. You know how many times I've had that. And I remember when I was asked doing this, I'm like, how am I gonna equate that to advertising? It's easy. It's easy. I remember the night before my wedding to my ex-wife, had a bachelor party. And I had a friend, Kevin. I still have him, okay? He's loyal, very loyal. And I haven't been in touch with him in a while, and I think I should. He wouldn't go into the bachelor party, and I know why. He liked my buddy Keith. But he heard me tell some things about Brad and Jim Bob. And he would tell me, he says, Jimmy, I like you a lot, and you're going places. And you got somebody as good as Keith that wants you to help you go places. He said, but oh man, Brad and Jim Bob are dragging you down. You need people around you that are more steadfast. Remind you of the best that's in you. And that's what Kevin did. And that's what Keith did. We need more people like that. But that is something that is severely lacking, no thanks to our distracted, defiant culture. Such reactivity. Even in political circles. I have to be honest with you, it's getting to the point, my political podcast, beginning March 1st through March 14th, except for the 2 weeks I have to do Constitution Tuesday, Thursday, I'm not going to talk politics for a while. I'm not going to consume news for a while. Because it's one thing that my friend Rob said, if you want to be steadfast, you need to watch what you put in your spirit. You really do. You watch. It's kind of like what was mentioned last night at the dinner party during one of the Zoom presentations. You watch enough news, you get angry, you get depressed, you get fearful, and you know what? It's a game. It's a game our culture wants us to do because They don't want us to be steadfast. I remember I tried taking a marketing class in graduate school. And I remember the first week in school, had this professor. We're going to call him Dr. Willis. We'll just say it because he pissed me off. Because he says, some of you probably in undergrad, you took principles of marketing. He said, principles? Excrement. He said, I believe in one. I believe in one up and shipping business. And let me tell you something, I should have hightailed it and ran out of this classroom. Well, not long after that, I wound up in the hospital. The hospitalization that led to me being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I went to him to ask for an extension on the midterm exam. And he went full throttle on me. Calling me a liar. All kinds of things. I left his office crying. I marched down to the registrar's office crying, and I dropped Dr. Willis's course. A few weeks later, somebody in that class spots me walking downtown. He said to me, you want to go to campus, right? I said, yeah. He said, let me drive you. I got something to tell you. I said, sure. We got in the car, and I said, I wish we had bailed out just like you did. He said, that guy is driving us nuts. He said, we feel like we're not learning much anything. He's either talking about Paul Harvey or about how bad his wife's cooking is. And I'm kind of like, yeah. I don't believe in any business model where people stab each other in the back. If you're going to do that, there's the door. Close the door when you leave. Okay, because let me tell you something. When it comes to being faithful, steadfast, loyal, I don't play. I don't play. You guys hear me? I don't play. I did it. I did it for 43 of the 53 years of my life. And I got hurt and burned bad many times. And lots of times it was by well-meaning friends. My friend Brad, don't get me wrong, I mean, other than some occasional problems, he was okay. But he really didn't take care of himself. I don't know, everything was just... And Jim Bob, let me tell you something. The last 7 years of our friendship, he was a train wreck waiting to happen. I didn't want to admit it, but I felt like somehow that friendship was going to come to an end. Because he was going downhill. And he was bringing me downhill. I remember November, December 2007, I came to him and I said, I'm tired of sitting on the sidelines being a spectator. And he would say, well, I don't know what to do for you. Whereas the friends I have now, 98% of them, especially the ones I met last year and this year, they say, well, then why don't you get off your duff and make something happen? Right? It's kind of like I'm also talking to myself. Loyalty and fidelity to my business. Jimmy, how's your freaking business? Don't give me no sob story about, well, such and such didn't happen. And you are responsible for your own business. You got a business partner? Make sure you're faithful. And you got common missions. Okay? Or maybe you have a business partner, but it's two separate entities, but you're helping each other. There are a variety of reasons. The convention model of business for as defined, especially in the last several decades, by our destructive defiant culture, it's bunk. It don't work. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you, really. I mean, I'm getting real with you, right? Being steadfast is important. In fact, why don't I go ahead and look? Most Christian faiths call something in the scriptures that they use called concordance. In my church, we have what's known as it's called a topical guide. So we're going to search it. I want you to think about this. What does it mean to be steadfast? I want you to think about this. It can mean a lot of things. Firm. Determined. Saying, hey, I'm not going to move or deviate from my truth. It means being committed, having courage to do what's right, being dedicated, dependable, diligent, faithful, integrity, and loyalty. See, all this goes together. All of this goes together. And why? Because it's necessary. It's necessary. You know, really, the person that took me aside and drilled into me loyalty was my maternal grandfather. Let me tell you something. Granddad may have had his faults and foibles, but one thing that was his best deal was loyalty, dependability, and integrity. Now, I know y'all want to hear about that. I know you do. He was loyal to his friends. He had a business. And I think maybe he had 1 or 2 employees. I wasn't really aware. And he was loyal to them. And our loyalty sometimes, they gave support and help to the rest of the family. I remember one time one of the employees stopped by, and I was kind of puttering around in his office, in my granddad's office, and he brought me some lunch. I thought that was cool. See, being steadfast means, hey, we're going together, right? We're all in this together, right? Jimmy, I love you and I appreciate you, but we're not staying in the same place all the time. Get up and move. You know what I mean? Loyalty But loyalty also means, hey, if you don't run with me, you need to stand up and do this. No excuses, no exceptions, no hard fire. Do it. Non-negotiable. Period. End of story. I mean, come on, y'all. I almost feel like I'm talking to an audience of at least 5,000 people, telling you guys about loyalty, how I feel about loyalty. Because you need that loyalty. We all do. We all do. You can't tell me you don't. You need to be loyal to people that love you how you are, but at the same time, they refuse to let you just stay that way if it's like in a negative way. In fact, that's how the theologian Charles Stanley defined friends. They love you as you are, but they refuse to let you stay that way. That's the beauty, right? It's good to have friends to talk to that are willing to demonstrate to you some loyalty, right? We all need loyalty, don't we? You better believe it. You better believe it, because there's no sense in farting around. Because being steadfast, let me tell you something. I know in my heart of hearts that loyalty and being faithful and being strong in respect and love and loyalty and faithfulness and friendship, those are the key things. And those things, in being true to yourself, you don't deviate from that. You don't deviate from that. Because, like I always said, there are patterns to success. You see it at church. You see it in entrepreneurial meetings. Shoot, even at Toastmasters, right? Which, you might hear me talking about that at some point. But the thing is, guys, listen to me. It pays to be steadfast. It really does. And being steadfast is like saying, "Hey, buddy, I'm with you no matter what. I'm gonna back you up the best way I can, and I'm gonna be dependable. I'm gonna try to be a rock for you, okay? Be there for you." But you ain't staying where you are. You're just not. Because you need to do what you can ASAP to get there. I tell you something, I feel blessed talking about this. It really helps me get a lot out of my chest about loyalty. Because we all need it. We all need it, right? Right? I know we do. Alright. So, we talked about faithfulness. We talked about steadfastness. Now for the next 16, almost 15 and a half minutes, I want to talk to you guys about what it means to be dependable. Because that's one thing my granddad and my dear sweet mama told to me, is being dependable. Are you doing your due diligence? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you being trustworthy? My mother, she's drilled it in me, especially the past 10 years. She said, "Son, You listen to me. Your granddad, you listen to me good. Your granddad always told me, if a man does what he says and keeps his word, then that man is good. If that man does not keep his word is bad, and that means he's bad. Now, I know that sounds awfully simplistic. But you know, Granddad taught me that you don't fart around with dependability. And it wasn't necessarily always in word. Shoot, Granddad was industrious. I remember 15 years old. He wouldn't even finish totally with his lunch, and he gets a ring saying he has a customer. I followed him back on the shop, expecting him to blow it off. No. Granddad was diligent. He was industrious. He was trustworthy. He said, "Sir, I'll get to this right away. It's obvious that your front end needs a little work. Maybe your brakes too." And I saw him get to work on that car right away. And you know what? That touched me. You see somebody that is dependable, industrious, and diligent. That is not that just melts my heart. And the thing is, one thing I need to learn is I need to be more diligent. So, while we're at it, before I go to Google, let me go to another trustworthy source. Keyword is diligence. Steady application in business of any kind. Constant effort to accomplish what is undertaken. Exhortation of body with mind without unnecessary delay or sloth. And number 2, care, heedfulness. And also, okay, the last one don't deal. Because I don't go that far back. But you get my drift here. Being dependable. Do what you say you're going to do. Do the work. Without necessarily having to be pumped. I don't know. That's why I'm glad that my upline sweetheart confronted me. He's like, "Jimmy, what's up with this? You need to do something about this, you know? We need to get out there and make this happen and make some money." So, guess what? We do this. And we don't mess around. We don't mess around. We move. Now, we got about 11 minutes left. Yeah, well, actually, only about 10 and a half. I'm just really speaking my heart about it. You have to be dependable. If you're going to be in business or even social settings with friends, you need to be dependable. If you don't, you got a problem. I'm sorry. You got a problem. What can I say? And it ain't easy. Life, my friends, is tough. But you need a group of people. If you're in entrepreneurship, you need a team of people that are crushing and flowing in it. I think of entrepreneurial people that I have, the past 5 years I've studied. Sir Charles Carey, Pastor Mel Keys, Dr. Delatoro McNeil II. Let me tell you something. It's worth it. It to study these things. Because it is, what can I say? Those entrepreneurs, they request loyalty and fidelity to each other. They teach it like it is. Stuff like professionalism, dependability, service, loyalty. See, those things matter. Those things matter to you, and those things matter to me. And I know they do. Right? So listen to me. Whatever situation you're in, as your success, confidence, and thrive coach, if you're getting to launch or relaunch on that good ship success, strap yourself in. Those that are waiting on the launch pad, and you're with them, you know who you are. Those of you in the boat, in the ship, that you're ready. Be with and present who you're with and present. Because once that door closes, and you're in, then you have to be all in. All in. In fact, there was, it was on YouTube. I think Dr. Delatoro McNeil II took it off YouTube. But the one thing he said, one of the contestants, was a reality TV show called The Keynote. And he took one of them in the cellar, and he said, one problem I see. You keep doing the same things and expecting different results. When what you really need to do with what you're doing in life, you have to be all in. You have to be all in. I'm a single guy, okay? I don't have no wife or kids. But the one thing I do know is that I want to be all in regarding my faith. In a roundabout way, I'm married to my church. Also see myself in some degree married to my business life. That's important. That's key. And are you willing to go that extra mile? Come on, you guys gotta see the big picture. Come sit with me on the launch pad as we relaunch. Be all in. Strap yourself in. I want you to picture though, it's not like a rocket ship launch. It's full propeller power launch, you know. We're all strapped in, we all can see each other. We're all together. We're all in this together. Are you willing to be loyal to people around you to help you succeed? Are you willing to be steadfast and say, hey, I will achieve this? No question. End of discussion. Period. End of story. Because once you do that, and once you close that door, once you close it, then the countdown happens. You're strapped in. Maybe you hear some people on the launch pad say, "Hey, we're waiting for you. We're cheering on you until you come back." Highly successful. And you may hear a few cheers. Don't mind the cheers. Those are people that are disloyal, stab you in the back, undependable, non-industrious, non-diligent. You don't want to mess around with those people. Okay? What are you willing to sacrifice to have determined loyalty and steadfastness to your team, to a business partner? What are you willing to sacrifice? I never really thought about that way. One thing my plan says, Jimmy, it'd be good for you to go ahead and just get your podcast over with early in the morning. And that way, bam, 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 you got this. You got this. Okay? I've been saying quite a bit. No doubt. But I'm talking about loyalty because I care about loyalty. Okay? Loyalty means the world to me. And sometimes that means throwing conventional cutthroat ideas about business out the window. Throw them out the window. What does that matter? Stay true to your principles. Stay true. If you're in a networking business like ACN, stay true to your upline and your team. Your church. Stay true to your church. You may have deep questions. Bring those to the Lord. Bring those to the Lord. I've had to. But it means being loyal, being faithful, being steadfast. And more importantly, it means being dependable. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to step into that? Come on, guys. I know you do. You do. Okay, so let's not mess around. Okay? Now, I know it's a hard thing. But can you guys please understand that loyalty is very important? It is to me, and it should be to you. If you got people that you're in a pinch, and you're crushing, and you're flowing, and they're not there, that stings. And that hurts. But what you gotta do then sometimes is be true to yourself and what you believe. And that's something I'm having to learn now, the hard way, now. When I could have easily listened to people like my dear sweet mama and gotten that wisdom and gotten that strength. Yeah. I'm sending a copy of this to my dear sweet mama. Because I love her so much. I really do. She taught me loyalty. She taught me about character and integrity. Those things matter. Listen to me. Those things matter. Alright, that's why I don't flirt around. That's why I don't flirt around. That's why I don't play around. I don't mess around. I love people. I love people with a passion. But I gotta say this. If you want to succeed in the business world, the cutthroat just ain't gonna cut it anymore. Okay, that's a cycle of fear. Don't give in to fear. There are too many narcissists out there making people want to give in to fear when you just need people who stand up and be loyal. Okay, with that, I hope you enjoy listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. Please subscribe, join Pattern Realm. Until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can have what others can't. Please share this with Mama-san, Papa-san, and everyone. Choose, act, and pursue happiness. God bless you. I love you guys.